baggy but super. This is another song in
And
the background called
deliberately
Period
to
Friend.
make to hide the contours of her body.
Right. And so that being said, when she normally wears these super oversized things, recently she actually posted a picture, and in this one picture she had on like a tank top and it wasn't in her overly baggy clothes, and an adult male quote unquote fan goes, "Ooh, she's thick," and then pasted that in there, which then started a Twitter dumpster fire, because then a lot of her fans started saying, why would you sexualize her? This is why she doesn't put up these pictures. This is why she doesn't put up things. And she's only 17. You're gross. And I was glad that all of her fandom not all of it, but a majority of her fandom was started, clapping back and defending her, since that is something that she has tried so hard to stay away from.
Yep.
But of course, this guy just doubled down on it and said some things like, well, in my country, she'd still be legal, but I get it. And they're like, well, she's American, and this is why, either way, you're being gross. And it just kind of just went into the, I'm okay, you should be okay with it, and it's a compliment. Yeah. And so not only from a she's too young, you're being gross perspective, but I think that this goes back to, in general, what I kind of think about in the way that our society frames where it's okay for men to throw out any compliment, whether we agree with it or not. And as a woman or a female, you're supposed to automatically go, well, at least he's looking.
Right.
And it's more important that you give me the compliment versus me going, nobody asked you.
Yep. That makes me feel creepy. Yeah.
Right. Nobody asked you to look at that. You didn't need to comment it. You're objectifying me. Nobody appreciates that. And this, I think it's hopefully the fact that there were so many layers of why it was inappropriate behavior that this guy was doing that's part of the lesson that is learned from this particular thing. Whether she is, like the fact that they're saying she's not a minor, and them going, it doesn't matter. Even if you're saying that, okay, fine, some places she wouldn't be considered a minor, you're still gross.
I love how their argument is based on the legal aspect of it.
Right.
Right?
Why would you double down on that?
God.
Whereas the fact that somebody comes back with, she's 17, that's a minor dude. And he's like, come on now, and the fact that it's like, you're still just a perv. Even if she isn't a minor, let's say that she was technically legal in any country. Let's say even if she's 20 and this guy is some older guy doing it, you're still a perv.
He's still
Nobody
being
asked
predatory, and she shouldn't have to do this, but she has made it, as you said, a point to say she doesn't want to be sexualized, doesn't want to be known for anything about her body. She wants to be known for her
music
artistry,
and her art.
her muse. Yeah, music.
No, she fascinates me. She's said before she wears clothes that are 800 sizes too big for her. And in her own words, she says, it gives nobody the opportunity to judge what your body looks like. I want layers and layers and layers, and I want to be mysterious. You don't know what's underneath. You don't know what's on top. And she says, I don't want to give anyone the excuse of judging. And it's not like everyone's going to judge you, but they all do in their head. Like, even if you're not even trying to, anything you look at, you judge. That's just how we all work. That's how human beings work. And she says that she draws her inspiration from Rihanna. And Rihanna has previously said she uses fashion as a defense mechanism and a way to express herself. And she said that Rihanna once gave a speech, and in the speech she said she uses fashion as her defense mechanism. And she said she never felt something so strongly as hearing someone else say that she did that when she heard Rihanna said that. And she says that it's her security blanket.
Right.
And so this is the thing. I think it's so interesting because you have this incredibly young girl. I believe she's just so incredibly talented. Now her brother writes all her music, so you really have these two incredibly talented young people.
Right.
She got really famous very young. I mean, when did she hit? Like at 16. Now she's 17.
15, I think. Yeah.
15, 16, 17, and this is a time that you've had other teenagers come and they are sexualized, glamorized, made to look older,
Right.
and Billie Eilish, I mean, from what I can tell, she doesn't even wear makeup.
Right.
I mean, maybe, possibly a light coating of mascara if you want to just say, oh, well, she has to be wearing some kind of makeup.
Right.
She possibly has the tiniest little bit of makeup on, but most of the time, I don't think she's wearing any. She's not playing by any of those games or rules that this, what do you want to call it, an entertainment industry. I will be so interested to see what happens to her. You've had a lot of, her genre of music is very white male. I mean, it's a kind of genre of music I'm not usually very interested in, because I call that genre, it's music made by white guys for white guys.
Okay.
And I'm not that into it, because I just feel like it's just, they're all doing it for themselves, you know. I did really like Kurt Cobain in Nirvana, because again, just such an incredibly talented young person, died at 27. But Dave Grohl from Nirvana has gone and spoken and goes to Billie Eilish concerts.
He's a fan. Yep.
Right. And I do think that there are more Billie Eilishes that are out there, and I'm glad that she is giving voice to these type of things, and trying to go, no, here's the platform, and going, not, you know, just trying to go, I am, regardless of whether I'm pretty or not. If she had decided that that was her platform, that would have been fine as well. But the fact that she has picked this particular route, I was surprised she didn't go all the way after reading those statements to like this, you know, like the Sias of the world, who really don't have as much of a have more of a less of a public persona. But I know that a lot of Sia's things.
Well, I think Sia does that because she's old.
No, she doesn't. She did that because she had anxiety issues. And so that was a lot of it. So she just didn't want to have a public persona for the longest time and was going to quit the industry altogether.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought people did. I thought she just didn't want people to see who she was because of her age.
No. She just really didn't, you know, there was a while where she had some very serious mental health issues that she was addressing and kept trying to like leave the industry, and then was able to reinvent herself, to come back out and to take control of a lot of those things. So it was a different journey for her, but it was the same thing where she would have really, really aggressive stage fright issues and breakdowns when she was performing, and so she would take big breaks, and so went back to writing, you know, just wanted to be known for writing these songs, and was writing, you know, music for Beyonce and all of the divas that were out there.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought that was a way for her to come out and not have anybody judge her for her age or her look.
She was wildly popular in her home country, and then had dropped some other songs and had this momentum behind her, and then just needed to really take some time to work on her mental health because she was not doing well. And actually, she had told some stories about how she was like sitting in a hotel room, if I remember correctly, and was going to have a suicide attempt, and then was able to recover from that.
Well, I know she's an alcoholic. I mean, I've heard the song Chandelier.
And so, yeah, exactly. And so it was a matter of how she was able to come back and really was like just singing background tracks and just testing songs out there, and then basically David Guetta's like, I'm going to put you on this song anyway. And she's like, that was supposed to be for somebody else. I wasn't you were supposed to do it. So I think that there are other people out there who've decided that they aren't going to have as much of a public persona because of this.
I'm part of what makes me, I guess, optimistic or glad about this Billie Eilish story is it's, I think, another great example of how optimistic we can be about the Gen Z cohort that's coming up. How self-possessed and insightful and confident of her to have done this, right, and to you know, to take this multi-layered approach and to be so open about it, and so good for her.
Yes,
yeah. And I was going to say, both my kids have the reaction that people around her age would have to somebody who got that popular. Oh, she's so played out, and everybody likes her, and blah blah blah. The interesting thing of my daughter was that apparently she is sort of a lot of the guys in that age group do have her, I don't want to call it a sex symbol, but crushes on her, attracted to her. And I said, but, you know, how can they, you know, sexualize her or do any of that when they can't see her body? And then she's like, well, they kind of do. They just say she's thick. That's the comment about her all the time. So it is fascinating that even with completely hiding herself and everything, she still has become this object of male attention, desire, liking of. It's like she wears no makeup. She's not, sexual at all.
So now they've managed to spin it back, and that's just unfortunate.
They
no
just
matter
like
when
her, it just is a thing that doesn't go away no matter what your action is.
Right, because sometimes it's just, there aren't enough layers out there. So I'm like, where are you going to hide? And you shouldn't have to. The fact that she's already made this determination and it's still not working. I hope that she has a good team around her. I hope that her family continues to support her, because I appreciate her music, and I hope she, manages to enjoy this journey and doesn't feel like I have to run to get away from this. So we'll see what ends up happening to Billie Eilish. Only 17, and hopefully she has a lot of years ahead of her. And with that music, that means we're coming to our final segment today, the return of Don't Crime. Don't Crime, a segment that we showcase some of the dumb criminals out there that usually we're going, it would have been so much easier to not crime, and still you chose to crime. Now, Sam, do you want to tell the background of the story, or do you want to play the clip?
So I don't know anything about this story. I purposely left myself not knowing so I could react in the moment.
Okay.
All right.
You're going to love this, Judy.
Yes.
All right.
So this involves a story that involves two of my favorite topics, Walmart and dessert.
Yes.
Okay.
So recently, a Wichita Falls, Texas woman was banned from her local Walmart after police say she ate half a cake and refused to pay for the missing portion. Police were called to the Walmart after receiving calls that a woman walked around the store eating half a cake and refusing to pay for the whole item.
Now, this was such a real story that the CBS News picked it up, and so they actually talked about it as well.
A woman is banned from a Wichita Falls Walmart because police say she ate half a cake, then refused to pay full price for it. The Wichita Falls Police Department says the woman picked up the cake at the store's bakery and ate it while roaming the aisles. Then when she got up to the checkout counter, she claimed that she found the cake that way and wouldn't pay full price. Officers ordered the woman to pay for the cake, but they did not issue her a citation. For CBS 11, I'm Katie Johnston.
Can you imagine being that police officer? It's like, look, we saw you eat the cake. And she's like, nuh-uh. The cake was like this.
and then why would you be a person who found a half-eaten cake and wanted to buy that particular half-eaten cake?
I know that sometimes when I am at the local Byerly's and Lund's, they can give you can purchase half a cake.
Yes, you can.
But it isn't the half a cake container.
Yeah, no, this would be a clearly,
intentionally halved.
this would be a clearly like somehow. Okay, I have so many more questions. How the hell do you eat half a cake that fast?
Oh,
too?
that doesn't take much. I've done it.
It can be done, Judy.
Sometimes you just have a commercial break and you got to get it done and get back.
Half a cake?
If you're motivated, you can make it happen.
Especially, we don't know how long she was wandering through the aisles. She could have wandered for a few minutes.
I mean, was it a sheet cake? Was it like a tiered cake?
Great questions.
And I think
it could have been quite a bit of cake that was consumed.
Oh, it probably was. I, in my head, have decided that it was half of one of those like 9-inch rounds, like a multi-layered 9-inch round is what I decided. Because I feel like when I go to Walmart, those are what I see out and about.
I don't go to Walmart.
I go to Walmart all the time.
I hate it.
The other thing that I thought it might be is I'm sure you've seen these there as well, then Samantha.
You go to Walmart?
I've been.
Yeah, they have like. That's how I know that they have half cakes, kind of thing. So they do have like bunt style ones.
Yes.
So maybe she had one of the strawberry or the lemon poppy seed. I think that is the variety of cake that would be easiest to consume as you were walking through the Walmart.
Put yourself in the thing.
Okay.
Where are you at in life that you're like, I'm going to eat this cake while I'm shopping?
It could have
What's
just been
the mindset?
Could have just been snacking that got out of hand.
Right.
If you're at the store,
you're opening because it's not easy to open the grocery store cake container.
That's
what
true.
I'm thinking is that most people who were probably watching her on the camera, because I have seen people eating as they go through the store, but then you usually pay for it, right?
But
you just kind of go.
This is an aggressive form of grocery store eating,
right?
Because you have to open it. Second of all, do you think she had a utensil, or do you think she's just with her hand eating?
I think it was full on face first.
I do too.
I think
half a cake with your face.
Yes, just
very
take a bite and then put it down.
Like when you have a hoagie and you just have to start with it, just two-handed.
Yep,
that's what I imagine.
So many other things she could have done,
and she could have. But I'm like, normally, if I was going to try and eat things like that, the whole thing is that there was obviously a skew on it. There was a label on it. So how are you going to say, did they mis-skew it? Like kind of thing. It wasn't in the discount cake bin. It wasn't in the there. Yeah, I feel like if they did have that,
I mean,